Hi, everybody. Quick story. It was about 15 years ago, and I'm in my office at the Second City. It's about this time of year. It's a Friday afternoon. I'm kind of picking my stuff up. And my son, Nick, is downstairs, and he's finishing his first week of improv classes. So here's what you need to know about Nick at the time. He was 10 years old. He was chubby. He has weird theater parents, so he's like this weird theater kid. And he gets bullied at school. But this week has been amazing. And we get into the car, and we're leaving Piper's Alley in the garage, and he says to me, "Dad, do you know what I love about improv?" I go, "No, buddy. What do you love about improv?" He goes, "In improv, if you're nice and you're funny, you're popular." So I started at the Second City in 1988. It was my first gig out of college, and I was a dishwasher, which is not as romantic as it sounds. The back bar in those days was filled with alcoholics and sociopaths. The other guy who got hired with me that week was Jon Favreau, the film director, and we both had mullets. And I don't know if you know how Second City is set up, but we do 2 acts of scripted content and a third act that is improvised. And when you're a dishwasher, you really don't get to see the scripted show much, but you do get to step outside and watch the improv. And it seems like magic. It's amazing. But it's not magic, and I'm not going to bury the lead. Improvisation is yoga for your social skills. Okay? Improvisation is loud, noisy group mindfulness. Improvisation is a practice in being unpracticed, which is how we all walk through the world. And if that surprises you, it probably wouldn't if you knew the origin story of the Second City, which starts on the south side of Chicago in the 20s and 30s with a social worker by the name of Viola Spolin. And her job was to better adapt immigrant children and neighborhood children into her care. So she created all these improv games, these exercises that allowed the kids to come together and play and empathize and communicate. Many of the exercises were in gibberish or silence because the kids didn't always share language. And her son, Paul Sills, was studying at the University of Chicago, and he loved these exercises, so he taught them to his friends, Mike Nichols, Elaine May, Alan Arkin, Barbara Harris. They formed the first improvisational theater in America called the Compass Players. That's in 1955. And that morphs into the Second City, which opens in 1959. So I started producing the Second City in 1992. My first cast included Stephen Colbert, Steve Carell, Amy Sedaris. I hired Tina Fey, Amy Poehler, Seth Meyers, Keegan-Michael Key. I am gratuitously name dropping, but we all know that's why I'm here. That is why I'm here. I also wrote a book called Yes And, which is about how we take our improv practices into organizations all over the world. And I would love to teach you the Yes And exercise. Would you like to improvise? Let's do it. Hardest part of the exercise is right now, right? The first thing I'm going to ask you. Everything else is very easy. So everybody, I need you to decide in your sort of groupings, it's either duos or triads. Who's person A, person B, and or person C? So everyone, you need to be an A, B, or a C. Go. All right, you got it? If it's taking you this long, then we're hopeless. All right, here's the exercise. Here is the exercise. The exercise starts with this. This event has gone so well, so amazingly, we decided to have a reunion in a year. All right, so person A, you're going to pitch to person B and or C your ideas for our reunion in a year. And it can be anything, all right? And person B and C, you have one job, and that's to say no in as many different ways as possible to this person. Okay? Person A, you can pivot, you can stick with your idea, but you know what's coming from B and C. We're going to do this for a minute. Ready, go. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come back to me. All right. All right. Let me regain your focus. Let me regain your focus. All right, I have an observation. I have an observation, and that is that person B or C may be enjoying that a little too much. Maybe enjoying that too much. All right, second round. Person B, it is your turn. And you are going to pitch your ideas for this reunion. Everything's gone great. We have a reunion in a year. Person B, you're going to pitch to person A and or C. Person A or C, you are going to respond to every initiation, every idea with the words yes, but. Yes, but. 1 minute, go. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, great job. I got a question for the room. By a show of hands, how many people thought that was better than round one? Okay, how many people thought it was worse? All right, I know why you thought it was better because you heard a yes, but that was not a yes. That was a no with a top hat. That was a no with a bow tie. All right, final round. So person C, you're going to start, or back to person A, but in this round, you're going to pitch your idea for the reunion, and every single person is going to yes and the idea. You're going to say yes to the idea, and you're going to add to it. And the next person, yes to the idea and add to it. There's no budget. The innovation people have said we can spend all the money we need. The laws of physics do not need to be paid attention to. Allow yourself to go there, and we're going to come, Zach's got, I think, a microphone or someone there, so we want to come and hear some of where we're going to end up for this reunion, all right? So I'm going to give you a little bit more time for this part, like 2 minutes. Everyone yes and every other idea. Go. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come back to me. Great job. What I love about that part of the exercise, it's always the loudest round. It's always the most laughter. All right, in this sort of section, who wants to share their reunion? Come on, don't be shy. Who wants to share? I'm just gonna, right over here. And then we'll go up here. Go ahead.
We're going to Montana to Yellowstone.
Okay, what else?
Where else are we going? Oh,
No, you took up that amount of time just to do Montana and Yellowstone?
In Yellowstone, we're going to train because we're going to go whitewater rafting.
Yep, there we go.
Train first because not all of us knows how to swim.
Yes.
Go.
Excellent.
Okay, great.
Run down here, right? Yep, right down here.
We are going to go to Australia, New Zealand, Bali, get the little huts, that go over the water. I think Ryan Gosling, Bradley Cooper's coming, private concert by Taylor Swift. Coconut drinks.
I love it. Here's the deal, right? This is how this works at Second City. When we're writing a show, it takes about 10 to 12 weeks, and we don't have a writer's room. They're improvising in front of audiences. The first 4 weeks, all yes and. It is all yes and. Because what we know is to get to good ideas, you need an abundant amount of ideas. And there is nothing novel that happens that you don't think is wild or weird. That's the point of it being novel. Nick Napier is a director at Second City, and he knows that even the best improvisers, even the best of us, get into our fear and shame brain, get into our self-judgment brain or judgment of others. So he has a thing during his process that he calls Taboo Day. And the idea is you have to bring in 3 ideas that there's no way in hell Second City would ever allow on a stage. Inevitably, that material ends up in the show. Bob Sutton out of Stanford has studies that show that roughly we need around 2,000 ideas to get to a good one. And you shouldn't be daunted by that because neuroscience shows us that we walk around and have about 60,000 ideas a day, and about 30,000 of those are novel as well. You have the ideas, but you need to collaborate with people on them. I give these talks a lot, and there's a lot of times to stuffier groups than this, and there's always a dude in the back, always a dude, who raises his hand. He's like, if I yes-anded every idea, I get nothing done. So like 2 things I know, that guy's a fucking nightmare to work with. And he's missing the point because yes and operates at the front end of creativity. It is 15 minutes at the beginning of a brainstorm. There is plenty of time for no. Do not worry, we have plenty of no. And I also speak to a lot of innovation and creativity conferences, and people conflate those 2 things. They're not the same. You can have creativity with no innovation, but you know what? You cannot have innovation without creativity. Creativity is messy. You need to make space for the mess and for the wild ideas. You can get to the no. That's absolutely fine. And the other thing that's about this is it creates such resilience in your organization when you let people share their ideas and when you say yes to them and add to them. I'm going to end with this quote because I absolutely love it. My friend Scott Barry Kaufman has a book called Choose Growth. Fascinating guy. And the cognitive scientist Irving Yalom says, Sooner or later, you have to give up the hope for a better past. Take that with you. Thank you.